1, 2, 3. Ah!
This is The Mud Peddlers, a podcast where two nerdy ceramic artists share the behind the scenes of their worlds of clay. We're your hosts, Lindsey M Dillon.
And I am Donte of Earth Nation. For anyone who doesn't know why we do that, when we sync the audio to the video, there's a spike in audio that goes up so we can see exactly when to sync it. Most people clap, but most people are plebes.
Yeah, I mean, we were plebes for our last episode.
Yeah.
But I really just wanted to do, like, the classic, clap. So, like marker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad we yelled this time. So
usually what happens is my hand's full of something when I'm doing pottery. Like, I was making a glaze last night, and I was recording, and my hands were, like, full. Like, I had red iron oxide all over this hand.
Oh, my God.
And I had, like, the glaze in this hand, and I was like, how do I mark this? And I was like, I will see that when I edit the video.
I could just see Abel being like, what the f***? Like,
no, she was asleep. It was like 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
I was up late.
That is so funny.
What are we talking about today, Lindsey?
Today, we're going to be talking about basically the concept of originality and sort of like intellectual property and theft. And it's kind of like a continuation of the episode that we did where we talked about fan art and kind of like, okay, when you want to make, a fan art, like what are the legal sort of things around that? But then we had a listener send us a question, and I'm so sorry, I didn't like screenshot who it was.
We have so many of you that suggest things that we're like,
which we hella appreciate. I'm actually getting better at like screenshotting and saving these things, but unfortunately I didn't for your question, so my apologies.
Here's the key, like if you follow me on Twitter, because I have a very little amount of people on Twitter, I will see it way faster than everybody else. Because on Instagram, there's like hundreds of you. But on Twitter, there's like 2.
Yeah. But anyway, somebody sent us a question basically asking like, okay, so I get it with the whole, legal when it comes to like doing fan art based off of a film or a video game or a book series where there's like a company.
Yeah.
But what about if you're interested in like sort of copying a style from another artist? And in the episode, we kind of briefly just said like, oh yeah, like just credit the person who's doing it. But we're going to go into a little bit more discussion about it today. So if you're, again, beginning in the ceramics and you're kind of figuring out like, okay, how do I like ethically do this thing?
There's definitely a reason we started this conversation.
Let's go into why we're having this discussion.
Well, I don't know how we should appetizer this, so to speak, but
you just set it down lightly on the table with a look of contempt in your eye.
I love it. Oh my God, yes. I just ate and I'm hungry now. So for me personally, on a personal take, once you take something that is already copyrighted and try and make that exact copy, that in and of itself seems to cross the line for me. That like if I took, what's his name, the guy who makes those swirly looking mugs, he makes production work, he's Slipcaster, he's super famous on Instagram.
I didn't
I forgot his name.
Anyway.
Well, let's just say, like, if I took another artist's mug that was already well known and slipcast it and made it in the colors they make it in, for me, that's stealing. For me, that's like, you stole my shape.
Yeah.
You're making it in my colors.
Same exact design.
Same design. For me, that's just straight up stealing from another artist.
Yeah.
Now, if you're drawing Mickey Mouse and you're calling it Mickey Mouse and you're saying it's yours, that's also theft, even though it's a large company versus an artist on that scale.
You're getting Mike Penced over here.
I am. I'm just trying to Mike Tyson me. But there is definitely wiggle room when you get to the bottom. You know what I mean? Because fan art is basically like,
fan art, I would say, is more along the lines of you're taking the concept of something or maybe somewhat of a specific designer character and you're doing enough to sort of make it your own.
You're morphing it somehow.
Yeah. Even if it's just like, I don't know, even in that there's some wiggle room there.
Right.
Because again, as we discussed in our last episode, like what exactly, where that line is kind of amorphous, and again, like, we're not here to give you actual legal advice.
Yeah, I'm not here to say, like, if you do this, it will work out for you. I'm here to say that, like, Lindsey makes, like, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask mugs, I make Avatar: The Last Airbender things.
Actually, they're Princess Mononoke masks.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I like to make that a
card.
point. No, dude. Here, I'm going to give it right back because I've never played any of the Zelda games.
Oh my god.
I know.
That looks exactly like a Majora.
I know, it does look hella similar. Anyway.
Well, Lindsey makes like a D&D
yeah.
in Dungeons and Dragons and like stat mugs, and I make Avatar: The Last Airbender mugs. But like at what point can you be like, you're taking from D&D, that's money out of there? Not really.
Yeah.
Like, a picture of a bow and arrow doesn't really belong to D&D.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I took the coin, the money from Ba Sing Se, is that, and I made it into a mug, is that theft? Or did they already take the Chinese coin and just make it into a symbol in the, like,
yeah.
At what point is it, like, where's the fuzz?
Well, we do know where there's not fuzz, and that's what happened to you yesterday.
Yeah, so, long story short, I might send you the pictures to put it on screen, but like, somebody basically took the entirety of my beginner section from YouTube, which by the way is free as long as you have access to it as far as internet connection goes, and took it and ripped the videos, turned it into an application, and then put a paywall behind it. So it's like, oh, learn how to do pottery like this, and you watch a video, and then it's like, for the next video, pay $15. And then it's like, for the next video, pay $5. And then it keeps going and going and going. It's an Apple app on iTunes. And I don't have an Apple, so I didn't know about it.
Yeah,
But
how did you find out about it?
somebody with an Apple, it's like somebody was looking at pottery apps.
Oh, okay.
Clicked on it and was like, is that you? Is this your app? And I was like, no. No, somebody legitimately from China.
Let me grab. Oh my God! I was about to be. Let me grab my phone, but it's literally recording this.
You can use
but
mine.
It's the,
You can use mine.
Okay. But yeah, the app.
Just don't scroll too far to the left.
I don't even know how to get to your photos. Oh, okay. So the app is called Create Pottery Deviant Art App, and the producer is Yossi Nishri. So it's YOSSINISHRI. Give them 1-star reviews and be like, this is stolen content, because it really is.
I put it on Instagram, and lots of you already have. But the weird thing is that ever since people started doing that, it doesn't show up on the App Store anymore, but if you Google it, it shows up on the App Store from the computer. So like, if I go into Google or my computer and I type in the name, it'll show up.
So even if you don't have an Apple
Right, you
phone,
can still do it.
Yeah.
I think it makes you download it once to review it, but everyone's like, I downloaded it, then I deleted it. It was real easy.
Yeah.
It's, someone legitimately has stolen not only my likeness, my videos. What really angers me is that they're making you, the subscriber, or the person who's taking the content, pay for something that I think is valuable, but I'm giving to you for free.
Yeah.
It's as if you were hungry, and I was giving you food of my own free will and accord, and someone stole that same food and said, you gotta pay for it now. And now I'm angry because I'm like, I'm trying to feed you. Why would you do that to this person? And they're just like, money.
Yeah.
And it's I usually don't mind. Like, honestly, I usually wouldn't mind if somebody like just stole content from me, but at the point in which they say they made it their own and they're making you pay for it, that's where I'm like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's morally not okay versus just trying to steal pictures from me.
That's like straight up theft. Like
that's
a lot of the stuff that we've talked about before when it comes to like copying and stuff is like there's nuance because it's fan art, or it's like what we're going to be discussing is like learning from another person's style by trying to like emulate it or something like that.
Which you should be doing, to be honest.
And that's different than what just happened to you.
That's way different.
All right, so what are some of your initial thoughts when it comes to like the importance of looking at other artists' work for inspiration and like emulating it?
I actually think it's very important to start emulating other artists' work, not on a intent to sell basis, but an intent to try and emulate or see if you can get more tools on the belt, so to speak, in order to kind of embolden yourself and your skill. Like, the second that I decided to learn how to make swirly mugs, I made them, and they immediately are just a thing for me now. Like, every artist at a certain level as far as wheel-tone ceramics knows what a swirly mug is, and they know how to make them, but I only knew that because I saw someone else do it, and I was like, I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
And there we go. Now I have that skill on my belt. But there definitely is a line where, like, you just start becoming a copycat. You know what I mean? There's general things. Somebody trims their foot a certain way. I don't think that's yours. You know what I mean? No?
No, I mean, I think, like, how do I say? Like, I think the biggest thing is, like, if you're trying to avoid straight up copying somebody's work completely, is, like, just pull from a couple different sources. Like, let's say you like the shape of a particular cup. Cool, pull that shape, like, use that.
Right.
Let's say you like the handle of somebody else's work. Cool, pull that. So now you've got a different shape, like the same... Like you're emulating two different people, but you're combining it into you're creating your own little
a little chimera.
Chimera. I was literally gonna say that.
You're making a little chimera.
Yeah.
Well, I think that also goes back to another point of like, there's no such thing as an original idea anymore. It doesn't exist. There's just the person who marketed it first, or like more people saw that one first. That being said, for anyone out there who's like, well, yeah, if you take someone's mug, but if you take different parts of the mug, that's still copying multiple people. You are not the originator. I guarantee any idea that I come up with right now, if people see it online, someone else in the world has thought of it, they just didn't make a video about it, is all. Do not feel bad about trying to emulate other people's work. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a further line to be talked about selling that emulation underneath, like coat writing, like coattailing them.
Yeah.
But as far as practice goes, as far as getting skill and tools underneath your belt, don't feel bad about that. They are not the originator of it. It's not about who did it first. It's really about who did it better, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And I think also, too, like, if you, let's say you do, just for the sake of like, again, practice, like, let's say you do want to exactly copy something.
Yeah.
Like... Let's say you do want to exactly copy something.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in college, there's an artist that I really, really like. His name is Anthony Jones. He's a digital artist.
Yeah.
And I ended up copying one of his paintings for a class. But I emailed him. And again, like when it's in an educational environment, I think there's a lot more leeway because it's not like I was selling that painting.
Yeah, you're there to learn that skill.
Yeah. But I ended up emailing him and I was just like, hey, like, I'm in this class. Like, would it be okay if I, reproduce your image? And he was actually like, yeah, go for it. Like, that's great. And so I think if it's a situation like that, like, there's so much that can be learned from trying to exactly copy something.
Yes.
Because you're never going to be able to exactly reproduce it and you're going to learn a lot along the way.
Yes.
But let's say, for instance, I wanted to figure out how Katie Marks, who's the woman behind, or the person, I think she uses she, her pronouns, but anyway, Katie Marks is the person behind another Seattle artist on Instagram.
Okay.
And she makes these gorgeous, like, rainbow-colored, like, Lisa Frank, all day, every day type, like, happy mugs. Let's say I wanted to try and copy her style just as an exercise. What I would do is, first of all, I would not sell that mug.
Right.
Second of all, I would probably email her or message her and just be like, hey, like, I'm just so you know, I'm going to be doing this. I'm not going to be selling the piece. I'm going to tag you and I'm going to share, but I'm doing this as a learning exercise to demonstrate how much can be learned from, like, trying to, like, copy another person's style.
Right.
I feel like that if you are in a position where you're already selling your work and you're not just in an educational environment, to me, that's like the ethical course to do.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Not only that, it kind of depends on if you're taking it to a further extent, I would say if you are trying to emulate someone else's work and make money off of it, that's a little sus to me. But at the point at which you're actively taking away sales from them because you're emulating their work, that's the line for me.
Yeah.
For me, Hammerly. His name's Hammerly.
Hammerly!
That's what I was thinking of earlier.
Hammerly, yes, Kurt Hammerly.
So, for example, if I decided to take Kurt Hammerly's stuff and, like, slipcast it and sell it, but it clearly is the thing he's known for, that, to me, is the point at which I'm like, all right, stop. Mm-hmm. Like, you're just stealing the design and trying to coat right off of somebody else's work that they've already laid a foundation for being known for that form of artwork. I would say at the point in which money comes into it starts to get a little sus, but I don't want to see money as the entire thing. But I would say that there's not a finite amount of skill that you can gain, right, from ceramic artwork, no matter how many people you copy. You can always learn new skills forever, a student. There, however, is a finite amount of customers and money.
Yeah.
So you can't really take, like, it's not like I copy someone else's work and I'm like, I'm taking their skill. They won't have this anymore. But at the point in which I start to copy, like, hammerly and get customers that were once his for a cheaper price for making the same thing he made that he is known for, that he has worked to lay the foundation of, that's the point at which I go, all right, you're literally just taking from me now.
Yeah.
It's not like this is for a skill cause. This is immoral, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
that for me is the line as far as an artist goes.
Yeah. And I think probably for most folks who are going to be getting something out of this episode,
Yeah.
it's probably not going to be, like, that big of a deal in terms of, like...
Oh, yeah.
I think most people are going to... Will like... I think we tend to be very... Like, if you're listening to this episode because you're like, I want to make sure I don't do this,
Yeah.
you're already probably a lot better
You're
off than a lot
already
of other
morally
folks.
correct in some sense.
Yeah. So I would say just give yourself some leeway with that, and if it is something that you're not sure about, just contact the artist's work.
Right.
Like, I've had people do that a couple of times, and it's just like, no, like you're like, 'cause somebody contacted me one time, and they were interested in following my similar style of like rolling out a slab, basically using like a sprig mold, like rolling out a slab, having the design be on, and then adding that design to the mug. And I'm like, that is such a general technique.
Yeah, that's sculpture
that it's
stuff.
Like, yeah. So that's fine to like I appreciate you asking, but like, no, that, like, you're fine.
That's
go ahead,
common.
go ahead, have fun. And it was really sweet because they still ended up making the thing and still tagged me anyway, which I was like, oh man, like that's awesome.
Yeah, there's no hurtness. There's no negativity in making friends in the ceramic art world. Like,
yeah.
I recently started talking to Pottery Danielle. I like her a lot, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my mom was like, you should talk to Pottery Danielle, and I was like, I can't just be talking to other ceramic artists.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
And she was like, can't you though?
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Can I?
Yeah.
And then I did, and she responded. She's super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But she's I've had a couple conversations. She's made a couple TikToks on it where she's like, I don't consider that theft. You just want to copy my style. That's cool.
Yeah.
But she did also have a conversation with somebody where she was like, I'm just letting you know I'm doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
what are some examples where you've tried to emulate someone's style and learned from it? And then I'll try and think of some examples as well.
it's mostly form for me. I've never looked at someone's drawings or design or anything like that and been like, I want to copy exactly that. Because what often happens for me is that I will try to copy someone's form just because I think the shape for me is more appealing than most things.
What's an example of like what's a specific form?
There was one when I was in school, like intermediate ceramics, where somebody would make a form, right? But instead of rounding out the trim, they would leave it at like this diagonal angle.
Oh, okay.
And it makes the piece look a little bit more lifted. It was part of my education, technically.
Yeah.
Yoshio was like, you can round out the bottom when you trim it, or you can like leave it like that. And a lot of people find it unprofessional to leave it like that. But he was also like, if you make the foot deep enough, the piece will look lifted because there's a space in between that V and the actual foot itself. So if you're making forms that are a little bit more elegant and not as chunky looking, it actually complements the form to do so.
Right, because it's a narrower foot compared to the overall shape of the thing that you're making creates an effect of lightness, of elegance, of... Yeah.
Right, exactly. And he was also going over, like, when you round out a foot, it usually has tones of Eastern or Asian or Japanese or Chinese kind of artwork. Whenever you make a small cup, which is really just a cylinder, and you round out the bottom, dependent on the shape of it, which usually just the size of the cylinder, it's essentially always going to look like a teacup.
Yeah.
If you round out the shape of a small cylinder...
And by rounding out, do you mean just like trimming
like this.
a...
Like this, here's the foot, and here's the round of it, right?
Oh, okay, I got you.
But this clearly looks like what I was just talking about, like a small, traditional, like Chinese or Japanese.
Yeah.
You know, but...
And this is just a mass-produced piece from, like, Tivana or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was like, you can leave. You don't have to round it out. You can leave that trim there. Because I saw another artist do it, and I was asking him about it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I really liked about my teacher, was he didn't just say, oh yeah, copy it, see if you like it. He was like, here's the reason why somebody would do that functionally, and here's how it looks aesthetically.
Yeah.
Right? We even did a piece where, like, I made a super big round one. He goes, do the V thing. And I hated it. It was awful. It looked like a really chunky person with tiny little feet.
Tiny, itty bitty feet.
Yeah, and I was like, that does not look ratio at all. He goes, yeah, that's the point I was trying to make to you. Like, the eye does not like that. You can do it on purpose if you want, if you're trying to make a point. But when I told him about it and I copied that artist's foot, he was like, we know how to do this. This isn't like a special technique. It's just another skill. It's another tool on the belt. And I'm glad you told me about it, because now I get to explain why it's important to know about these things.
Yeah.
If you didn't try and emulate it, you would have no idea. You would have just kept doing the same thing you're doing forever and ever.
Yeah.
It's about growth, more so than just like copying.
Have you ever pulled from a specific artist? Like when you're talking about like the swirly mugs, was that inspired by?
No.
I can't remember if you had said that.
The swirly mugs were taught. In fact, I had a very large issue with the swirly mugs when I got out into the ceramic art world, like the real one, because. Like
the real ceramic art world? What the hell is the real ceramic art world?
In school, you're kind of coddled. In school, if you're intermediate, people are like, you're so good at this. You're great. There's always that one dude in the class. It doesn't have to be a dude, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's always one person in the class who's like really good, and you're like, wow, they're so good, so much. But then they get out into like.
It's like the big fish, small pond thing.
Yeah, you get out into a studio, and there's a dude throwing like 2-foot tall pots, 20 pounds of clay at a time on a brand new Brent wheel. He's using two wheels at the same time.
2 wheels at the
same he throws the bottom, and then he goes over, throws the top, comes back the next day, fuses them, and you're like, I was a child. I didn't know this existed. Like, it's when you get out into that kind of art world, you really
I'm sorry. I'm trying to adjust my legs and I something hurt and then I moved. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
You alright?
No, I'm fine, man. Don't you
worry about it. No, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You okay?
My voice is cracking because I literally screamed myself hoarse watching. Oh my god!
What?
I screamed myself hoarse watching a jousting tournament. Get it? Horse? Horse? So, all right. So whenever I think of copying type conversation,
we
this is
say
quote unquote.
quotations.
Yeah. For our listeners who are not watching this, it's the quote unquote.
Oh, right. Sorry, we're talking about swirly mugs.
Oh, swirly mugs.
No, you're
yes.
right. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Carry on
I'll
with
make
that.
it real quick too.
Okay.
So I was taught how to do swirly mugs in school. So by the time I got to the open art world, I was like, that's not special. Like I learned that. And people freak out over like the spirals in mugs. And they're like, oh, it's so cool. It's so different. But when I got out of school and into the larger pond, so to speak, I was like, no, it's not. You just pull slower. So for a good year or two, I was like, why does everyone like this? This is like basic for potters. I guarantee you somebody was pulling a cylinder one day a long time ago and they pulled way too slow and they're like, oh, looks nice.
Hey, just a swirl.
And there you go. That's what it was.
Yeah.
If anyone
I think it's just
wants to know how to do that technique, just pull super fast or super slow.
You literally have a video on how to do it.
It's very easy. I stretched that one sentence into like 10 minutes of a video.
Yeah. That's great.
That's all.
So, yeah. Crap, I had something I was going to say in relation to that, but now it's gone.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, it was about swirly mugs, and when you were talking about it, I thought of it, but then it left, because then I thought about the video. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point being.
We're talking about artists.
Yeah.
Copying their work.
I remember. Yeah. It's about how often you see stuff. Because especially, like, you gotta, like, remember, like, as a ceramic artist, it's like, we are, like, involved in this world a lot more than the general public.
Yeah.
And unless you're in an area that has a lot of, like, handmade, like, ceramic works, or it's just, like, it's on your radar, like, you just may not be aware that it's, like, a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
It's like, I don't know. There's, like, 4 or 5 things in the ceramic art world that, as potters within the culture, are like, yeah, it's not that special. Like, we do it a couple times and then we're like, meh. But then to the outside world,
or we do it a couple times and then they love it and then it becomes their whole thing. But
and then you're trapped into doing it forever and ever.
Not necessarily.
For your whole life.
I think that's like your fundamental fear with ceramics, and so you project it onto other people.
Talk to me about kintsugi. One more time, Auntie. One more time on Facebook. Say bubble glaze, say raku, say kintsugi. One more time, I swear to God.
Yeah. See it.
Then you can do it. Oh my god, I saw it on Facebook.
Stop being on Facebook.
I mean, kintsugi is cool though.
It's cool. It's cool like 2 times, and then I'm like,
I just don't want to spend the time on it, frankly. But
I don't.
It's some people's thing.
I also have a bit of it's the way you do it now is with mica gold and like epoxy. So the mica is just like a gold powder. It's not real gold. But the way they did it a long time ago was to get gold flakes and then put it into the crack and fuse it together with heat. So the way you do it now is not the way it's done.
Yeah.
Like, you're just putting gold powder in something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's fine, though. I mean, techniques change over time, you know? I mean, we don't make our own clay, or at least I don't make my own clay. You don't make your own clay.
I want to make my own clay so bad.
I'm sure you do. That'll be a different conversation. But what I was thinking of earlier is that, like, one of the times I remember really specifically trying to copy somebody else's piece was actually way back in high school.
Yeah.
Again, when I was like learning this for the first time. And actually one of the assignments that we had in the class, we had like 9 different assignments or something like that.
Right.
Was to go through the ceramics magazines that the teacher had in the classroom, pick something, and then try and copy it. And my mom still has the little sculpture that I made.
Moms be keeping our
Moms
stuff.
be keeping these things. Yes, it's true. It's great. But so she still has it. But it was so interesting because I still remember like a decently well what the actual like the artist piece that I was copying looked like. And then I'm looking at like my thing. It's like this dumpy little sculpture, like yay big, and you know, and it's just. I really appreciated that my teacher had that as an assignment because again, like you can look at something, especially if you're like learning a medium for the first time, like whether it's ceramics, oil painting, watercolors, ink, you know, metal sculpture, whatever. And you can look at something and it's like the greatest challenge that we always run into as artists is like, how do I make this thing that I either see in front of me or visualize in my head? How do I actually make that happen in the medium I'm working with? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
The amount of times you think about something and you're like, I didn't make it the way I wanted to.
Yeah. Another example much more recently is I fell in love with Mike Sinelli's work. He sells his work through Companion Gallery, but it's Mike Sinelli. I'll see if I can add it in the box below or in the show notes, whatever. But he does basically like a loop handle, and of course his works have a lot of surface decoration to them.
Yeah.
But I had never tried that loop technique before, so I ended up using that technique for the serveware that I made for Insight coffee roasters.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I actually did, from what I remember, I did actually tag him, and I was like, hey, like, I'm doing this technique because of this cup that I got from Mike Sinelli, or this, I did buy one of his cups, but the technique from Mike Sinelli. So I did tag him, but that's a recent example. And again, if you saw those pieces, they're way more simple. They're really different than what Mike Sinelli does.
They're usually appreciative, too, when you tell the artist, like, I did a
exactly.
little, they're usually like, that's tight.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I get an artist who's like, that's mine!
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I actually saw your little muzzle. Not little, I saw your muzzles flexing just a little extra. That was great.
That's mine. My pasty arms today, I'm sorry.
Oh, dude, no, you're fine. You want to talk about paste, bro? Bro. If I took off my shirt at night, I'd be like, Gondor calls for aid! You know? I illuminate the night.
Stop it.
I will not. What else do you think people could get out of this episode that would be like a valuable, like in the next, just few minutes? Like, what else do you want to leave people with?
Well, I would like to put some type of line in the sand as far as what is morally questionable on an artist's point of view, copying an artist's work.
That's a good idea. Like,
versus a company.
What is the actual, like, what is the line?
Well, for me, the line is whenever money comes into it. For me, it's like, I'm copying you so I could get more skills, so I can put the tools on my belt, so I can express myself in different ways later on. I'm using you as kind of like a pseudo-mirror, you know? Okay, that's fine. I'm copying you so I can make money off of your design. Specifically the things you make. That's kind of not cool.
Yeah.
Because, if they were bigger, if it was like I was copying Walmart mugs, I wouldn't feel bad at all, because it's not like I'm really taking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's, as far as the line in the sand for an artist, that's where I draw the line for an artist. Mm-hmm. But for a company, it's a bit different. Like, if I decided to draw a Mario figurine on my cups, but I made the suit, like, blue and high yellow or something, it's a little sus. Nobody's going to want it, because they're clearly like, that's Mario in different colors.
Well, but that kind of gets into the whole, like, fan art thing, which I think is a little bit different.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I don't draw the line in the sand there, because I'm like, you're a huge company, and that's just fan art.
Yeah.
Like, if I make Avatar mugs, to me, that's just fan art that I'm selling on the side. I'm not making trillions of dollars off of. But if I made my own cartoon and all the characters looked exactly the same, and I got a deal and I put it on TV and called it Avatar the Second Airbender, there'd be an issue.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between direct copying and fan art when it comes to a company. Mm-hmm. But if you're a personal artist and you're copying another personal artist's work, and you're calling it fan art, but it's a direct rip, that's just stealing. Yeah. It's the difference in between, for lack of a better term, attacking the finances of an artist versus a whole company. Mm-hmm. Like, one is a little more defenseless.
Yeah.
Also, it's far more common you're going to get a cease and desist letter from a company than you are from Jeff. Like...
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, when I think about like where I would draw the line in addition to the money thing, because I think ultimately like that money part is the most important.
Yeah.
But I
it's
think
like 60%.
Yeah. But I think additionally, if I were to try and look at a technique that somebody else is using and I wanted to make it my own, I feel like the biggest difference would be how much of the overall design do I copy, and how much of my own spin do I put on it. Like let's say I wanted to do the like, what is it, like the, you know how people will make like crystals and attach it to the like the crystals are still ceramic, but they like do like the faceted.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah. So let's say I wanted to do something like that, and the artist that I was looking at primarily attaches their crystals in big chunky crystal forms on like the side of their cup on the opposite side of the handle. I'm just thinking hypothetically. So if I wanted to use that same technique, maybe I would say, okay, so they use big crystals here on the side of their cup. What if I tried to make smaller crystals and just added them along the handle? To me, that's like, okay, I'm trying the same technique, but I'm tweaking it, I'm making it a little bit my own,
right,
so that it's not completely copying their technique. And I think like, again, for our listeners, like that's what I would advise is like, if you're wanting to learn from somebody else, unless you are trying to exactly copy it for the exercise of trying to copy it.
Yes.
But if you want to look at somebody else's technique and integrate it into what you're already doing, then just change it a little bit.
It's kind of a cop out, but you're right. Like
yeah.
I don't want to make a Pikachu. I want to make a Pika me, and then you draw a Pikachu who's blue with two tails.
I mean, that's
a company thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's a company thing. But like in my mind, I think of it in terms of like, how do I say? Like if somebody wanted to make their own version of like a Pikachu, like let's say we were just pulling this, like then I would say, okay, what is a Pikachu? It's kind of like the overall shape is like a little potato, and it's like the you know, kind of like, okay, it kind of looks like a mouse, right? Yeah. It's got the tail. So then, okay, how could I tweak the design so that it was still read similar to like the overall Pikachu shape? Because if I liked the overall design of Pikachu,
right,
but I could find ways to tweak it so that it wasn't exactly the same, but I could still use some of the overarching design elements.
Yeah.
Because there's like design elements that are, you know, that can be abstracted, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's design elements that give off the same vibe, but they're not a one-for-one as far as, like, I clearly copied this.
Yes.
But it has the same feel when you look at the actual piece. That's where art really lies, is how you... That's a whole different conversation, but the way art is usually interpreted by most people is they look at it and they get a feeling, and the way they feel off of something is the way it's interpreted throughout them from their personal experiences. Sometimes you look at two different pieces of artwork, you get the same vibe.
Yeah.
But if you do copy one for one, usually they're going to give off the same type of vibe, or you're going to get the same type of vibe from them.
Yeah.
And I guess the job of an artist is to either translate that vibe, or if you're trying to copy someone else's work or trying to emulate it to a certain extent, your job is to figure out what that is that makes you feel that way and try and emulate that into your work.
That's a really good point. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a
lot.
It's
less that you're trying to copy and more that you're trying to take elements so that it gets the same energy, I would say. This would be interesting, like, listeners and viewers. Let
us know, because, like, I feel like we could have more talks about, like, design and like the actual process of how we develop different designs, like when we look at, you know, form, weight, line, like all these different things. Like maybe that's something we could discuss a little bit more. So let us know if that's something y'all would find interesting.
Also, on your side, when you were talking about like kind of making a chimera of stuff, that's usually what I end up doing is I get a base something and then I have a technique and I have like 20, 30 different techniques. I'm just making up a number, there's probably more. And then I will just apply one of those techniques into the base form.
Yeah.
Right? So if I want to make a special handle, I can make any mug I want to. As long as it complements the form, that special handle can go there. I just started making these handles where like one goes here and then you put another little sprig, for lack of a better term.
Oh, yeah.
Here, so it kind of protrudes out like that.
Yeah.
Instead of just the whole handle just being here. And as soon as I learned how to do that, I was like, I can just do this to any mug. And it'll be fine. So it's good to get those skills or those tools on your belt so you can build any type of house. Yeah. I don't know why I'm always building a house in my analogies. I'm sorry.
I think it's nesting.
It might be. They don't know about that yet.
I mean, besides,
you should leave the nesting for a teaser.
Leave the nest in?
I've decided they get one TikTok, one YouTube video, and one Instagram.
Okay.
They have no idea.
Okay, so this part I can leave in?
This part you should leave in. The due date could be tomorrow.
It
they
could
have
be.
no idea.
It's not, because I would be like preparing you soup and f***ing like rolls and shit. And that's it for today. Thank you for listening to The Mud Peddlers with Lindsey M Dillon.
And Donte of Earth Nation.
Want to say hi and see what Donte and I are working on in our studios? Check out the show notes for links to our websites and social media below. You can find me at lindseymdillon.com. That's LINDSEY, M as in monster, DILLON.com, and on Etsy, Instagram, and Facebook at Lindsey M Dillon.
And you can find me at Earth Nation Ceramics. It's spelled exactly how you think it's spelled, but you can also find me on my Facebook fan page and Instagram at the same name at Earth Nation Ceramics.
If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, or you have a question or topic you'd like us to discuss, take a second to rate and review The Mud Peddlers in Apple Podcasts. It helps our podcast reach new listeners, and we really appreciate the feedback. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time.